Stampinette, and welcome to another Friday card making session with me. And it is the last Friday in July, and I am super excited to be showing you another watercolor technique. I don't know if you caught my video from last week, but I mentioned last week that the whole month of July has been all about watercolor in the world of papercraft. So that's been really exciting. So I came up with this design with featuring my watercolor background, and I also wanted to just show off one of the Sale-a-Bration stamp sets and the Sale-a-Bration paper as well. So before we get started, let me just show you which one I used. So I used the stamp set, which is called Wonderful World, and the background paper is also a freebie. So let's look at the Wonderful World first. So Wonderful World is a free, let me just move that, sorry, a free stamp set and designer series paper that you get with the purchase of anything from any catalog to the value of $220 New Zealand, excluding shipping. And it's a beautiful stamp. I've really been having fun using it. And then the paper that I'm featuring today is coming from, it's actually coming from the Rings of Love. And you would be surprised. Let me show you what it looks like. So on this side it has the acorns. Sorry, I keep banging things. On this side it has the acorns, and on this side it has this gorgeous watercolor wash technique. So very, very pretty. And so I just wanted to feature a little bit of that. Before we get started, I want to tell you about two different ways you can achieve this. We're going to use a clear block. Now, I was having a play. I usually use my ink refills on a clear block with my water spritzers, and my video last week had that, and I'll put a link to it to show you. But I seem to always have a trouble with a little bit of a black spot there, where that is actually where the ink refill dot, or whatever you want to call it, lands, despite using so much water to try and disperse it. Today I actually decided that I'm going to try putting my ink pad on the clear block instead, and I want to show you the difference. It's quite remarkable. So I'm going to set that to the side, and do remember that you can look up all my projects on Stampinette. There's quite a lot there that I put up from time to time. There's also a little bit of information about me, and from time to time I put up recipes as well. So go and have a visit, stampinette.com. And I'm slowly but surely putting up my tutorials, and I will be putting online classes. So this combination of color is inspired by what I saw on the back of the color of the sheet of papers. They tell you what are the colors that coordinate with the different papers, and so I always look there for my inspiration, because you can get some amazing color combinations. So today I'm using Evening Evergreen. I just want to make a slight adjustment to my light. Right, hopefully that is better, because I had my light a little bit lower so it was more on the project, but it's actually in my way. So cardstock, standard 5.5 by 8.25, scored at 4 1/8, and we're going to set that to the side. Then I cut a piece of this designer series paper by 2 inches by 5.5, and you're just going to need to use your trusty liquid glue. In this case, I love using Stampin' Up's multi-liquid glue, or affectionately by the name of Tombow. I have tried various different glues over the years, and I have to say by far this is the best. Now look what I have done here. I have glued it, and I actually want those leaves. So this is the beauty of this glue. You can lift it within seconds and reposition it without damaging. You don't, obviously it's not always going to allow you that flexibility depending on when you come in and save it, but that was quick enough. So I'm setting that to the side. Then you're going to need a piece of watercolor paper, fluid 100 paper, or a shimmer paper. And I've spoken about this before. The reason for this is that the fibers in this paper are far more absorbent than what your basic cardstock is. So you're going to need that. I'm going to move this to the side because I am going to be spraying water. I've elected to use the biggest clear block that we have available in Stampin' Up, and all your sizes of your clear blocks, can you see that? Let's have a look. There we go. Is a size I. The reason for that is I wanted to clear the whole piece of cardstock. All right, I don't want any breaks in it. So let us get started. I'm using Petal Pink, which again is going to tone in beautifully with the suggestion for the cards for the designer series paper. And I'm just going to lightly ink that onto my clear block. Now I'm going to move this away for now because it's going to go everywhere. I'm also going to be using my stamping spritzer, which comes in a pack of 2, and I've marked the other one alcohol. I'm moving that piece of paper away because I don't want water droplets on it. So I've got everything ready. I've also got a kitchen towel piece of paper ready to dab up the extra. So holding my clear block, let me move this into the camera. Holding my clear block in position, I'm now turning it over and letting that just drip off extra. And then I'm coming onto the side. I don't want all of the paper covered. And I'm just holding it through. I can see where the pigmentation has gone. And I'm going to lift this up very gently and very quickly dab off the extra everywhere. It is a messy job, so you do need to go quickly. So I have instantly created a watercolor background. Isn't that beautiful? So do just make sure you've got your paper towel nearby so that you can get that dabbed up very quickly, and you can actually go back a second time. Now, when you do this technique, you ideally should have a little bit of time that you can let it dry, or alternatively, if you are in a hurry like I am usually, where I want to make a quick card, then I use my heat tool. So I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to put my clear block down on this section just to hold down the paper. Oopsie. And I'm going to turn on my heat tool. And I'm just drying it. The reason I put my clear block down is so that the paper doesn't turn up. And now I'm going to swap it and put my clear block there. Do you see how it's wanting to come up? So I'm just using the clear block as a weight. And I'm just doing it in sections. Okay. So do that until it's touch dry, which I'm quite happy with that. It has buckled a little bit, which is quite understandable when you're working with water. So you might need to just put a little bit of a stronger adhesive, or Tombow should also be okay. Now I am going to adhere my cling stamp from that The Wonderful World freebie. And I'm going to ink it with soft suede to get that darker look. Now when we're using a cling stamp, it's got the rubber foam, so you just need to let that stamp travel up and down that ink pad and check there Just be careful. I've done a little bit too much on the sides, and that can often happen. So just take care that you don't over ink them. They're super juicy. So I want this stamp, I want it to be in that negative space. So I'm going to stamp it at an angle. And down it goes, and I just hold it firmly. And release, and voila. Isn't that stunning? That is such a pretty, pretty look. Make sure to close your ink pads when you've used them, because accidents do happen. Now we're going to adhere it on with Tombow. If yours has buckled a lot, then you might want to use Stamp and Seal in just a little bit, but you should find that Tombow is enough. So I'm just going to put it over there. I want to see the green of those leaves, so I'm going to bring it out so that it's taking up most of the space, and I'm just going to hold this down. Now the beauty of our ink pads is that this ink dries almost instantly, so you see I can go over with my fingers. Isn't that looking stunning? We've got a few more things to do to finish this one up. The first is I'm going to use some twine, and the twine comes in a packet of, I think it's 3 or 4 different colors. It's very versatile. You get black, you get white. I had thought I'd actually brought it out to show you, but I can't find where I've put it. So I'm just going to cut a ribbon, or a little bow rather, and I'm going to adhere that with a glue dot. Now I just want to show you a little tip, because not everybody is good at doing those multiple bows where you wrap them around your fingers like so. So if you find those are too clumsy, then just do what I did for this one. Just do 2 bows and adhere both of them on with a glue dot. That's just a cheat way to get a similar look. And I do find it easier to do my bow and then just go on and take the bow and adhere it with my glue dots. So that's coming together very nicely. Almost there. The last thing we need to do is put a little bit of bling. And I was like, what have I done with the bling? But it's stuck onto the stamp set. So I'm going to be using these champagne rhinestone basic jewels. They are so beautiful, and they just add a little bit of color to the whole card. So I'm going to be putting a nice big one over there, and I'm going to go down to a medium size and put it there, and a teeny tiny one sort of over there. I'm really happy with how that's come out. And there you have a very simple card that you can make using the watercolor technique. And as you can see here, there are none of those splotchy, blotchy, dark bits there. So if you've been trying this technique of spraying, but you've been using ink refillers, and like me, keep struggling to get that more uniform look, then it's probably better for you to do what I've done today and to use your stamp ink pad on that clear block and see if that makes a big difference. So I hope that has inspired you to go out and give this a go, tweak the technique, see if that makes a difference. And why not try this color combination? So it was pale pink, evening evergreen, and soft suede. And pop a comment and let me know how you found that. So thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, I just want to thank everybody that has continued to subscribe to my channel. It is blowing me away, the support that I'm getting from you. So thank you so much. I'm almost at my next goal, which was to get to 80. I'm not far away from that. So continue to subscribe. Please share this with friends that enjoy paper craft as you do. I really value your support, and don't forget to go and visit my social media pages, especially my stampandeat.com blog. And next Friday, the 5th of August, bookings open for the public for my last Stamp and Eat retreat for 2022. So look out for that. I'll be advertising that next week. There are already 4 spaces booked for the retreat, and are limited to 14. So you do the math. There are only 12 left for the weekend, and there's only 1 place left as a day visitor for Saturday. So please don't delay. If you're living in New Zealand and you want a weekend away where you are only going to be spoiled, you do not want to miss out on my Stamp and Eat retreat. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And remember, until we meet again, stamp, eat, sleep, repeat. Bye.